You'll learn about the legal process, social implications, and strategies to make sure that you protect yourself during this difficult time. This course provides facts and figures from countries like USA, UK, Australia, and Canada so that you can have an idea of what could happen in different jurisdictions. We'll also discuss solutions that could potentially save marriages where possible. So, sit tight as we take a deep dive into the complicated world of men's divorces. Understand your rights and responsibilities. Before beginning any proceedings or filing paperwork with the court system, it is important to understand not only your rights, but also responsibilities as a husband going through a divorce. Taking some time before doing anything can help to ensure that all paperwork is filled out properly, without overlooking any important details which may come back later on down the road. It's also important to familiarize yourself with applicable laws in order to ensure proper representation when meeting with lawyers or going through mediation processes. Each country has its own regulations regarding divorce proceedings, so be sure to check those first. Consider divorce alternatives first. When considering filing for divorce, there are multiple alternatives, such as reconciliation counseling or marriage counseling, which should be taken into account beforehand if at all possible. While these options don't always work, they are worth trying in many cases since they can potentially save both parties lots of energy, money, and heartache if successful. Plus, being able to stay married would likely reduce stress levels overall, making life easier on everyone involved, including children. Even just taking some time apart while still living together might give both partners perspective on their situation, allowing them more clarity when making decisions about their future together or apart. Seek professional help if necessary. Depending on individual circumstances, sometimes seeking professional help may be necessary when dealing with issues leading up to or during the actual process itself. For example, talking through feelings with experienced counselors who specialize in marital therapy. Divorce mediation might allow couples better closure than proceeding straight towards litigation without giving themselves enough space-time away from one another first, which often leads to much bitterness afterwards. Additionally, getting advice from qualified attorneys who know local laws inside out could prove invaluable when navigating through proceedings such as child support payments, etc. Research financial implications thoroughly. One major aspect people tend not to forget about when entering into a separation agreement, or even worse after signing off on it, revolves around finances, whether it's alimony payments made by either party post-decree, division of assets according property owned jointly between spouses, etc. All these factors need careful consideration prior to finalizing anything legally binding, because once signed off, there's usually very little room left maneuvering things afterwards to strict enforcement measures put forth by law enforcement agencies within respective jurisdictions. Doing thorough research ahead of the implementation signing stage should prevent nasty surprises down the line, so please consider consulting trusted advisors well beforehand. This video does not provide legal, financial, or tax advice. The information provided in this video is for informational purposes only and should not be interpreted as legal advice. If you require legal advice, please contact a qualified attorney, for example, by signing up for a free course on our website Divorce Lab Pro. We will connect you with the pre-selected lawyers or other experts you may need. Join our free course to learn how to navigate the divorce process. Learn about the negative impact of divorce on you, children, and family, and how to protect your rights. Pre-selected experts are available to help men through this difficult time. Get it free now at Divorce Lab Pro. Understand the legal process of divorce in your country. Research and understand the laws, regulations, and procedures that apply to you. Seek professional advice from a lawyer or other qualified professionals who can help guide you through the process. Consider all options before filing for divorce, including counseling, mediation, or collaborative law, as these may be more cost-effective than traditional litigation. Be aware of any potential financial implications associated with getting divorced, such as division of assets, debts, and alimony payments if applicable. Take time to reflect on why you are considering a divorce so that you can make an informed decision about whether it is right for you at this time in your life. Make sure both parties have access to accurate information regarding their rights during the proceedings, for example, child custody arrangements. Respect each other's feelings throughout the process. Even though emotions may run high during this difficult period, try not to let them get out of control by communicating calmly and respectfully with one another whenever possible. Avoid making decisions based solely on anger or revenge. Instead, focus on what is best for everyone involved in terms of long-term happiness and stability after the divorce has been finalized. Don't forget about your children when going through a separation. They will need extra support during this difficult transition period, so make sure they know how much they are loved by both parents regardless of what happens between them legally speaking. Try not to involve friends, family members too heavily into discussions related to finances or custody arrangements unless absolutely necessary. Keep conversations private between just those directly involved in order to avoid unnecessary drama conflict down the line. Remember that there is no right way when it comes to divorcing someone. Every situation is unique, so take some time beforehand researching different approaches, which might work better depending upon individual circumstances. For example, arbitration versus court hearings, etc. If possible, try negotiating an amicable settlement outside court rather than having everything decided by judges who don't necessarily know either party's personal history well enough. This could save money and stress levels significantly over time. Keep track of all documents related to your case, such as bank statements and tax returns, etc. These will be needed later if disputes arise around asset division, etc. Stay organized throughout proceedings. Create folders containing relevant paperwork and use online tools like Google Calendar, reminders, etc. to stay up to date with deadlines and appointments, etc. Don't rush into anything without first consulting experts. Seek advice from lawyers specializing in family law matters before signing any agreements which could potentially affect future rights negatively, for example, parental visitation schedules, etc. Remain open-minded towards compromise where appropriate, but also remember that sometimes it's important to stand firm against unreasonable demands made by ex-partners, especially when children are involved. That is, do whatever necessary to protect their interests above all else. Find ways to cope emotionally while going through tough times. Talk openly with friends, family members whom you trust most. Join support groups specifically designed for people dealing with similar issues. Practice relaxation techniques like yoga, meditation regularly, etc. The decision whether or not to file for divorce should never be taken lightly, especially given the fact families are at stake here. Not only emotional fallouts must be considered, but financial ones too, which makes the whole thing even more daunting prospect for most men facing potential dissolution relationships today. That said, however, if unavoidable, then hopefully information provided above will provide helpful guidance. Do whatever needs done responsibly, minimizing damage caused much possible. Join our free course to learn how to navigate the divorce process. Learn about the negative impact of divorce on you, children, and family, and how to protect your rights. Pre-selected experts are available to help men through this difficult time. Get it free now at Divorce Lab Pro.